We have a class tomorrow night, Festive Fix in Thermomix at Hyatt at 7:15 tomorrow night. So if you're interested in that, please, I will try and post the link at the bottom of this. You can book in. We'd love to see you. Anyway, Michelle Moss and I are doing the turkey roulade with stuffing. And part of the stuffing is some bread. So I thought, well, why don't I make some gluten-free bread so it's available for everybody who's there. So I am making the Pepita. Oh, I just realized I better make sure I've got volume. Yeah. I'm making the Chia and Pepita gluten-free bread. So thought I might as well share. All right, so it's on cookie dough. Whoops. Now I have weighed a few of these things out together. So it's basmati rice, brown rice, millet. Now I had a bit of millet, but I didn't have a heap of millet. So the millet's this very fine stuff, very hard to see. Whoops, not quite sure how to show you. So I've subbed a bit of the millet with buckwheat. And in the next step, it's asking me for besan flour, which is chickpea flour. So I've got the chickpeas, so I'm going to mill it all together because that's what we're doing here. So just remember to look ahead. If you need to make your besan flour, stick it in with your grains for milling. That's all those grains going in there. Going to mill for 1 minute on speed 9. Well, that was seriously boring, wasn't it? Okay. Meanwhile, grease a deep-sided loaf. So I've done that. I'm using the loaf from the can from the mix shop, which has the lid, so it makes it square. There's next it says my chickpea flour. Well, we've done that. Okay. Then just show you actually what this looks. There it is, all beautifully milled. I'm going to just scrape down the sides too. A grain inside. There we go. All right, so the arrowroot flour, the chia seeds, the pepita seeds are all in here, so I'm going to pop those in. Okay. Then, oh, sorry. 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum. I'm just going to do 1, 2. Because the xanthan gum is what makes it a little bit stretchy. It's what you need often in gluten-free breads. It's used a lot in gluten-free things. Teaspoon of salt. Lid on. Speed 4 for 10 seconds. All right. So just a reminder, until midday tomorrow, we have 20% off in the mix shop, cyber sale. There's our flour mixture. It's asking me to transfer it into a bowl. So this is the bowl I'm using. There's a set of these 3 bowls from the mix shop. They have a spout, they have a lid, they have the measurements, the volume down the side, which is a bit hard to see. Great handle, non-slip base. So they are fabulous and like a really excellent Christmas present. And of course the tin is too. So just going to pop that there whilst I just go around the base here a little bit with the just where the blades are attached in a clockwise direction, so I'm not actually chopping up my spatula. Just loosened a bit more. Flour. Pop that in. Okay. Next, 2 tablespoons of honey. Yum. We love honey, particularly Andrew. Okay. 1. 2. Clean fingers. Sticky fingers, which will have to be licked shortly too, no doubt. Okay. There's stringy bark honey. Nice. 400 mils of water. That'll do. That'll do, pig, that'll do. 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. So whenever you pop in the yeast in, just make sure you don't drop it actually onto the blades. Blades are pretty much covered in this. Okay. And the yeast, I just use this yeast. It goes back into the freezer. Oh, lid on. 2 minutes, 37 degrees, speed 1. Okay. So whilst that's doing that, you don't want to just watch that for 2 minutes. I'm going to share my screen. Oh dear. Hold on a minute. Let me just have a look. That's I had it all organised. A few other things. All right, so I just thought I'd show you my collection of breads and gluten-free pizza bases. So the artisan, the gluten-free artisan loaf baked in the cast iron pot. This is available on the meat shop. They are fantastic. And I forgot to mention those when I did my favourite things a few days ago. They are fabulous. And I was talking to my daughter last night. She's got the shallow round one and she just loves it. And I'm actually going to be using that one tonight for part of our dinner. I'm going to make the Lingana turmeric. All right, so that one, this is one of my favorites. It's a little loaf. I just chop it up, freeze it, slice it up, freeze it, and pull out some, avocado, tomato on top. More different breads. I actually haven't tried popcorn and buckwheat bread. That is more of a cakey bread. The crackers are wonderful. And you can get the cracker rollers as well. And there's all sorts of, this is another gluten-free bread. Let's just see what's in this one. Pretty much the same. I'd say that's exactly the same. It's American. So I can actually remove that from my collection because I do not need it there. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of gluten-free veggie pizza bases. These are fantastic, but you can't really use them in a pizza oven. They need to be on a tray. I like it because I feel like I'm getting nutrition. However, now I've got Yoka Madewi's flour from wild sourdough. That is full of protein. It's full of fiber as well. So it is nutrient dense. So I'm not so worried about having empty calories. Anyway, just quick flick through here. You can see there's a whole lot of different pizza bases and things here as well. So if you just put in gluten-free on this, I love this. Now this is not officially gluten-free, the quick squash rosemary and parmesan bread, but just use gluten-free flour, and it is gluten-free flour. And there's not, from memory, there's not a lot of flour in there anyway. Let's have a look. Oh, there is 250 grams, but just use a gluten-free flour. And it's really, really nice, but don't expect to have much left. Again, that's more like a bit cakier. Haven't tried that one. Those are really nice, the sunflower and sesame seed ones. There's a Chia and Pepita. Yeah, so there's quite a few different recipes in there, but we're ready to move on. So here we go. Next. So I'm going to pop in here. I don't have macadamia oil, so it's going to be olive oil. One teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Okay. 2 eggs. The reserve flour mixture. All that's going in there. Oops, let me see that. It goes on. 15 seconds, speed 5. On the sides, I'll show you what it looks like though. Yeah, it's quite runny. The lid back on again. 5 seconds, speed 5. Giving this another little grease along the sides. As we're going to put it in there next. Okay. All right, so I am going to just stick it all into here. Actually, the 5-seed loaf that I make for my husband is also quite runny. Not quite as runny as this, but reasonably runny. And this has got to sit for about 30 minutes. It's got the yeast in it, so it should double in size, roughly. Okay, so little tip. Most of you who know me will know this tip anyway. I want to clean those blades. So coming back onto here, saving my recipe. Here we go. Remembering you have to get out of turbo, go back into the recipe for the lid to unlock. Clean blades. Just got to scrape the rest of this out. Now, much more's coming out. There we go. All right. Now, this is the loaf with the lid. Tin with the lid. Grease the lid. Okay. And what you have to do is it goes on from this end here. So your little curly bit goes on first. And there we go. We're going to end up with a square loaf. But I've got to prove it. So what I'm doing, actually, it's not exactly warm in Melbourne today. I've got water in my oval thermoserver. I'm going to sit that on top. And I'm going to leave it for about half an hour. I'll check it because I'm renowned for letting things overproof and they start oozing out the corners. But I'm going to check that. It says doubled in size, preheat my oven, and then it says brush it with extra water. Well, if it's in here, I'm just going to leave it as it is. It says sprinkle with the seeds and bake for 40 to 45 minutes. So I will post a picture of the finished item with the recording.